Okay, so there's this new video called How the Day Before Lied to Us. So if you guys don't know, the day before was supposed to be this ultra modern game that has pixel perfect graphics, and it was a scam. It was a giant scam. And I've known it's a scam. Like, you could just take one look at it and tell it's pre-rendered. Nothing about it says gameplay, but for some reason it got millions of views, lots of hype, and people worship this game like it's the best game ever. And it just total flop. So let's watch this video by Gamer Ranks, and he's going to go into detail about what made this game a scam and why the day before lied to us.
Holding the proverbial bag. And what a roller coaster ride this game has been. From that first massively hyped trailer to everything that followed, this game was at very least a constant source of amusement for people watching from the sidelines. For the players who actually looked forward to this thing, what a disappointment. The game was originally promised as an open-world MMO zombie survival experience, but was released as a half-baked extraction shooter. And I want to stress that's not an exaggeration. The store page still describes the game as an MMO, but in its current state, it is a half-baked extraction shooter, a shooter that extracts and was baked halfway. I want to stress all of those words contain no exaggeration and may even be a little generous. With that in mind, hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, we're talking about how the day before lied to us. So, sure, there was a possibility that things could improve. That's probably why Fantastic slapped the early access tag on at the last minute, but it doesn't matter now. With the closure,
The early access means, okay, we sold and released an unfinished game, so we're just going to slap on early access to excuse all of our failures within this game. We don't have to finish games anymore. We can just call it early access. There's been games that have been released for years and they're still calling themselves early access. And nobody sees anything wrong with that. Remember when early access meant that the game would be assumed to be finished in months and they'd actually improve on the game? Now they just say early access, don't do any updates, don't do any improvements, don't add any new features to their game. It's a scam. Gaming in its current form is a scam. Now I'm not saying there aren't a few indie companies that actually do try to release top quality games, but for the most part, the indie space in gaming is a total scam, and it's become a gold rush for all the scammers, all the rip-off artists, all the manipulators to rush to the gaming industry and release their half-baked game, their washed up game trailer, which is pre-rendered, which is fake, which delivers false promises that will never be in the full game. And then all the idiotic gaming fanboys, all the idiotic gamers will rush to that game, pay like AAA prices for indie games, $60, $50, $40 for these games that aren't even real games. Aren't even real games. Tell me if that makes any sense.
of the studio, the game's effectively dead. Whatever future the game had left, it's gone. And it's not uncommon to hear people talk about a rug pull, where a Kickstarter game or an early access game just disappears into the night, with the devs running away with the money that was meant to fund development. It's something that a lot of people joked about the day before, but I didn't think it would play out exactly like this. And I don't know if it's a scam or pure incompetence, but either way,
It's literally a scam. They did a well-crafted, well-animated game, quote-unquote, trailer which didn't show any gameplay, and at the very least, it was scripted, which obviously was at least scripted. Okay, if you don't think the game trailer was at least scripted, you are living in a fantasy land. And gamers are so desperate to find a game that is actually good that they are willing to fall for scams like this. Okay? To anyone, it should have been obvious, more than obvious, that this was a scam company. I mean, a company coming out of nowhere, indie company coming out of nowhere and releasing such a high quality trailer. It's insane. It's just stupid.
Way, it just really sucks for everybody who was actually interested in this thing. Looking back, the first announcement trailer was absolutely chock full of red flags, but we're so used to trailers exaggerating or embellishing what's actually in the game, a lot of folks ignored it and accepted what they were seeing. It was very ambitious and seemed to come out of nowhere, and I'd say in hindsight, we should have known better, and a lot of us did. A lot of us did. Through the years, you've heard me express plenty of skepticism about this game, but also, I've always tried to be optimistic. I never want to just take a big old steaming dump on some developer that's punching above their weight. Honestly, I like it when developers do that. It's oftentimes kind of a wild haymaker, and when it connects, it's crazy. But, Hail Mary plays aren't typically referred to as such because they have more than a prayer going for them. But these guys were promising nothing less than the fidelity of The Last of Us, the world and danger of The Division, and a massive player-driven world at the same time. It sounds too good to be true because, it was too good to be true. Still, people got hyped, and for good reason. It's an impressive trailer. It went for the Red Dead Redemption, like Rockstar style guided tour, which gives the players the impression that it will be an open world game. This is, of course, arguable. One of the narrator's first lies is that the day before takes place in a huge post-apocalyptic world, which is not the small chunk of
Nonsense. Nonsense. They literally advertise this game as if it would be based on a huge, massive city. And from I haven't played the game, but from what I'm hearing, it's just a tiny little map. Okay, tiny map, and they're just able to get away with this. How is a company able to get away with blatant, yes, blatant, false advertising? The gaming industry, their fans, the gamers don't hold these companies accountable at all whatsoever. In any other industry, the gaming companies would have been sued to oblivion. Oblivion. They would not have been able to get away with this level of false advertising. But because gamers are so brain dead, they allow this behavior to continue. Do you think the company that released this game has learned from its lessons? No. They're like, wow, we actually got away with it. So let's work on our next crappy game. And then the next crap, and then the next crappy game. Just like Bethesda. Bethesda has been doing the same thing for years, if not decades. Okay, they're just releasing crappy game, false advertising, false promises. Um, they said, oh, huge open. They always say the same thing. Oh, huge open world. You can explore. You can do this, and then the game comes out, and it's the most bare bones game imaginable. This is why, first of all, we should just not make it cool. We shouldn't make it cool to embellish your game trailers because that's the main source of this. If you have it deemed okay to embellish, to lie in your game trailers, that will allow companies to do things like this. No one should be shocked. Nobody should be surprised. Nobody should be disappointed because they literally lied. You fell for it. Get over it.
City and countryside that's in the game. The stilted dialogue from the players didn't fool anyone, even back then. But a lot of games try to do this sort of enhanced gameplay stuff with trailers where it's all scripted and it's meant to give viewers the impression of what the final game's going to be. It's obviously staged, the players are never convincing, but it's not abnormal. It's unfortunately a common industry practice. In the trailer, the players get a radio message that's from the Woodbury community, which implies a lot of things, like this is a place you can actually drive to, a survival colony among many in the open world. It's not in the final game at all. Like, Woodbury is a place you wake up at the start of the game. It's more of a central hub and not part of the map. It's the only survival colony in the game, so everything about this message is either misleading or just isn't in the game. There's plenty more in that.
Look how laggy that game is. Oh my god. Look how laggy and look how bad the graphics are. There's no shadows whatsoever. There's no lighting. There's no detail. It looks like a freaking Xbox 360 game. I'm not even exaggerating. Okay, look at this. Oh my goodness. People paid for this? Top prices in 2023? Wow, some people really are stupid.
So everything about this message is either misleading or just isn't in the game. There's plenty more in that first trailer. It's clearly not in the finished game. The animation where the guy hits the soda machine and gets something out of it, that's not in the game. The shootout in the store has objects flying all over the place and environmental damage. It's not in the game.
So they even took out physics from their game. Now, either this, obviously, this has to be pre-rendered, because why would a gaming studio add physics into their game and then take it out in the final game? So either this is like pre-rendered, made in Blender, or it's just incompetence. Oh, let's take out physics because we don't even know how to get physics right in 2023. Like, what sort of gaming company doesn't understand physics? Doesn't put physics into their game in modern gaming? Physics has been around in gaming since the early 2000s, probably earlier than that, the late 90s. We are regressing as this industry as a whole is regressing. And guess what? GTA 6 will be exactly like this game. Exactly like the day before. Okay? GTA 6 trailer, all pre-rendered, all pre-animated, all scripted, not an ounce of gameplay, and you have hundreds of millions of people like, I can't wait for GTA 6. Oh man, it's gonna be so good. And then the game will come out. It will be broken. It will be disappointing. It will look ugly. And when it comes out and it's a massive flop, don't rush to this channel saying, oh, why is this like this? No. Enjoy your crappy overpriced game and enjoy the consequences of your actions. Because I tried to warn you that GTA 6 would be a failure. A failure. The gaming industry as a whole, there's not a single good gaming franchise in the game industry. It's all been tarnished. It's all been milked dry. Okay, it's all been complete. All credibility within the gaming industry is lost. You cannot have a successful industry where the customers do not trust the companies making the product. No one trusts these gaming companies anymore at all. Not at all whatsoever. So why would anyone be a gamer now? Why would anyone give these guys your money unless I play the game firsthand? That's the only way I'd pay for a game. You have morons buying games before the game even comes out. And then they cry and complain like, "Oh, I didn't know this." Yes, you idiot. Because you bought the game before it came out. My God.
Has objects flying all over the place and environmental damage. It's not in the game. The elevator shown in the announcement trailer, that doesn't work. Crafting doesn't work, at least not like that. Nor is there a stealth element to the game, as implied at the end. Zombies all just attack you. There's no detection system. They're just like, person. Yeah, even like the weird Walking Dead crapola game that came out where you can use smoke for stealth has stealth in it. This game doesn't. Okay, there's no smoke floating around the city that you can completely hide yourself from zombies in. Nothing like that. There's a lot that's not in the final game. What this trailer promised was an exciting multiplayer experience that looks amazing and is full of surprises. It's a game I'd love to play, but I haven't. I have played the day before, but it's not that. And you'd think the first trailer would be the worst for this sort of embellishment. It often is with games, but the second trailer, called the exclusive official gameplay trailer, is way worse. Before getting into this, I want to make it clear that the final game, what it actually is, it's an extraction shooter where they randomly dump you into part of a large map. You fight with other players for resources that you can take back to base, and you can either equip it if it's a better gun, or if it's not, you sell it for money. And the map is the size of a large multiplayer map, like a Warzone map or something like that, but not an open world map. Keep that in mind when you see the gameplay they're showing here. Everything about the cars in this trailer is absolute BS.
This was a really hyped game trailer. I saw this when it came out, and I just, obviously, that's BS. You could see the mud moving between the tire grooves. You can see the liquid physics. I'm like, there's no way this isn't pre-rendered. If this were to run on a modern gaming PC, it would fry the whole system. It would cause the entire PC to grill itself, okay, to cook itself, because it's just too much computing power being exhausted at the same time just to render something as simple as mud. Okay, what sort of gaming company would waste this much hardware performance on mud? It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, there's only so much detail you can add to a game before it becomes unfeasible. And a lot of people watching this trailer are like, "How'd they do that? Oh, that's so cool." But no, it's stupid. It's stupid.
I'm just going to come out and
Look
say
at
it. There's
this.
no way they were going to make a MMO with a Mud Runner style simulation going on in the background. That's not possible.
Look at this. Look at the mud. Like, who would waste that much detail on mud?
There's a reason most interactions in MMOs are basic and timer based, because anything that requires more precision is usually too much for the servers. I don't have time to get into the technical aspects here, and I'm not smart enough to explain it properly anyways, but just keep in the back of your mind what's going on here versus any random MMO. Like, there's a reason they don't play like this. None of the environments shown in the trailer are in the final game. It all implies the place is so much bigger than it ended up being. The gas station is where the claims of stolen assets started. It looks remarkably similar to the gas station in Life is Strange 2.
Okay, let me see this. So, gas station. I don't like, this is a stupid point. This is such a stupid point. All gas stations look the same. Okay, so of course it's going to look similar. Does this guy not have a brain? Oh, oh, this game is a complete scam, but let's focus on the gas station. Oh, that might be stolen assets. Are you stupid, sir? Are you seriously going to say the only reason this game is a scam is because the gas stations might be stolen assets? Because the gas station looks similar to another generic gas station in another generic random game? That's your reasoning? Not because of all the thousands of other reasons?
Claims a stolen asset started. It looks remarkably similar to the gas station.
All gas stations look exactly the same. Why even make this point? What purpose does this point serve?
Is where the claims of stolen assets started. It looks remarkably similar to the gas station in Life is Strange 2. Yeah, this is where the first claims that the game was an asset flip started, but now that we have access to the main game, much more confirmation. I'm not going to go through everything people claim is either a store-bought asset or something they may have stolen, because if this Reddit post by Epic Story 1989 is to be believed, nearly everything in the game is some kind of stock or purchase asset.
Now, think about this. You pay for a quote unquote original game, and nearly all of the assets in this so called original game are pre made assets released 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. A lot of these assets are outdated. Some of these assets might even have been released like a decade ago. So you're paying for a modern game, a next gen experience. Then you turn on the game, or you turn on the game console, you put the game in, and then it's just garbage. One level, you see a asset that looks relatively good, and then another part of the level, you see an asset that looks like a Nintendo 64 freaking asset. Then you walk past and you go to the next part of the level. Then you see a freaking Xbox 360 stolen asset. So it looks like a combination of different um gaming generations, just assets from different generations, assets from different quality, for of different qualities that doesn't match. There's no consistent art style. There's no consistent anything. It was not made by human beings. It's just a conglomerate of AI generated randomized assets that have no purpose at all. Okay, it's just I paid for this, so I'm gonna okay, let's say the gaming developer bought a asset chair for 20 30 $40. Let's say that. Now, if you are the gaming developer and you paid for an asset, are you just going to put that asset in once? Are you going to put it in twice? Or are you going to put it all over the level as many times as you can to get your money's worth? So you'll see constantly, constantly repetitions of the same exact asset, just so these gaming companies can get their money's worth out of that asset, because they didn't make it from scratch. No, 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 no. They bought it. They're gonna get their money's worth. So yeah, don't ever buy from a company that literally pays middlemen to design it for them. That's no, 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 no. You shouldn't do that. That's just stupid.
Now that players can actually compare the game files to asset source stuff, they can pretty definitively claim that a whole hell of a lot of stuff is either based off of or literally just copy pasted assets that were purchased from a digital store. It's pretty damning. Covers everything in the game. It's from the UI to the quest system, the dialogue system, the characters, almost everything in the entire city. It all looks like it came from stuff devs just purchased and slapped in the game. And I would like to very quickly point out that using store-bought assets in a game that is good and took effort, like either in the writing or the mechanics or some element of the game, is really well done and they used pre-made assets either that they bought or, I don't know, you get a lot of those for free in Unreal. There's plenty of games that make use of pre-made or store-bought assets to great effect, but The Day Before is not one of them. Going back to the trailer, the segment of the gas station hits us with another bold-faced lie. The guy in the video climbs over the waist-high barrier, which is something you can't do in the actual game. It makes no sense why it's there. It's not in the final product. But I can't really imagine that it would have been that difficult to bring over, right? Like, it's not exactly like the most impressive thing we've ever seen, is it? No. The zombie density is not right either. There are way more zombies around in this trailer compared to the final game. When they go back to the car, there's this whole complicated menu of options that seem to give you a huge amount of granular control over how to upgrade or repair the vehicle. This should come as no surprise at this point, but none of that is in the game, not even in any form. There's nothing.
See, this is the most obvious case for a false advertising lawsuit. When you show specific mechanics that you say are in the final game and it's not in the game, that is grounds for a lawsuit. That is blatant false advertising. That is blatantly lying on specific features within your game. There's no posted disclaimer saying, "Hey guys, I know you're about to pay for this game, but we want to let you guys know that this specific feature isn't in the game," and letting the customer know before they buy the game. So this is this is the case for a lawsuit. What's it called? What's it called? Class lawsuit or something like that. But yeah, everyone should get together. Everyone should hire lawyers and milk this company for all they are worth. And I don't even think that will work because this company is probably based in China or India or somewhere like that with no regulations, no laws, nothing like that. Or it's probably just one of these AI generated companies that just have everything designed in a way that's untraceable, that's randomized, and it's all fraudulent. The gaming industry, I mean, Steam does not put any sort of limitations on who can sell games, what the gaming companies can say in their game trailers. There's none. So why does anybody trust them? Unless you play the game. Again, I'm saying this again. Unless you play the game firsthand, don't make videos saying, "Oh, this game's so cool," because you're lying. You're lying to your audience. If you haven't played the game, how in the world can you recommend the game to somebody before it even comes out, let alone while you're not even playing it? The game industry is a joke. A total joke, a total scam, a giant scam. The gaming industry is like freaking crypto in the entertainment space. Oh, this game, once this game comes out, it's going to be the best game, and that comes out and it's garbage. It's like the crypto of entertainment. Who would be a game? Only idiots will be a gamer in 2023. Unless you're playing old classic games, unless you're playing retro games that have came out. 2015 is the absolute, 2014, 15, 16, around that period. I mean, probably before then, but that's the absolute cutoff. Somewhere around there, when gaming has gone from bad to a complete joke. And notice how the YouTube algorithm is promoting these scams. They promote bad games. They don't promote the good games that actually challenge the gamer's brain, that actually are hard to play. They'll rather promote brainless games. Oh, zombie survival, and then a zombie rushes after you, and then you shoot the zombie, and then another zombie runs after you. No intelligence, mind you. And then another zombie runs after you. Then you shoot the zombie, and then you do the exact same thing over and over and over again for the entire game. Wow, isn't this so fun? I'm so challenged. Oh my God, this is so stupid. This is so freaking stupid, bro. This game is just all around a complete and utter failure. Failure. It says more about the gamers than it does about the gaming industry. Because if you're willing to get scammed, companies will scam you. If you're not willing to get scammed, companies won't scam you. So yeah, I'm going to end the video here. I'm not going to watch the entire thing. You guys like the video, like, comment, and subscribe.